How's it going, guys? Today we've got a lot to talk about. Devon Larratt is getting a chance at revenge on Kvikvinia, and he's also looking for a left-hand match. Monster Michael Todd is lifting some crazy weights right now. We'll get into that. And Engin is promising East vs. West 16 is going to be the best card yet. We'll get into that and more in this video. Alright, East vs. West 16 is going to take place in Georgia on February 15th. And Engin has given us his word. It's going to be one of the best cards, if not the best card ever. And so far, the matches that have been announced would indicate that to be true. So I'll just go over them real quick. We've got Monster Michael Todd versus Ermes, Vitaly Laletin versus Artyom Morozov, Todd Hutchings versus Irakli Zirkashvili, and Devon Larratt versus Kvikvinia. So the one that I am most excited about has definitely got to be Michael Todd versus Ermes Gasparini. Michael Todd's got a ton of momentum right now. He came back after a really bad bicep injury, and he's just been on a tear ever since. Before the injury, he could not get a win to save his life, and now it seems like he's got new motivation. He's really coming for Levon, and right now Ermes is standing in his way. So what's going to happen in this match? There was an interview that the Aussie arm wrestler did with Michael Todd and Lars Verbakken. Lars said there is no lane for Ermes. Now I know he's friends with Michael, so he's going to be, more positive, but no lane? I don't know about that. I would say there is a case to be made for Michael Todd. That's for sure. I mean, we have to take into consideration that Ermes is not necessarily known for his press. He has a press. We've seen him press. He pressed through Dave Chafee, so not bad. But he's going to most likely rely on his side pressure after he takes the hand, engages his back pressure. He's got to have enough side pressure to really blast through that King's move. Or we might get to see his press. I'm not too sure. I mean, man, Michael Todd he's been posting pretty much every day. He's got his pronation lift, his rising lifts that are kind of unique to how he trains and how he arm wrestles. And they are very impressive. I think he just posted, at the time of recording, 183 pounds on his open arm pronation lift. Super impressive, and it looked honestly pretty easy. So I would not be surprised to see him hit 190 pounds before their match. But Ermes also looking really big, looking really tough, really strong. He just posted a video where he was teaching Michael Todd how to do the lifts correctly. He was showing him how to put the strap over the knuckles rather than the back of the hand, which is how Michael Todd does it. So, a little bit of shade being thrown by Ermes, so that's good. We need some drama leading up to these matches. Yeah, who do I think will win though? I think Ermes has got it. He's the younger guy. He's been making really good progress. I mean, he beat Vitaly Laletin right hand. That's super impressive considering how much bigger Vitaly's hand is, how much longer his forearm is. I think Ermes is just going to have too much back pressure, too much cupping. He's going to get the match on his side of the table very easily. And I think he'll have enough side pressure to maybe finish the first two rounds. And then maybe the third round, maybe the fourth round, if it goes to the fourth, he'll engage the press to finish. But I just think he's got too much horsepower. But man, I do have trouble not buying into the hype around Michael Todd right now. It does seem like he just has momentum, and I wouldn't be surprised if Michael stops him in the third round an inch above the pad and we get to see a war. So I'm really excited for this match, and I just hope it's a good one. I don't want a 3-0, but I do think it probably will be 3-0 for Ermes. All right, let's move on. We've got Vitaly Laletin versus Artyom Morozov. Now, some of you guys will remember that a little while back we saw the right-handed match between these two, and Vitaly just absolutely destroyed Artyom Morozov. And I think the same thing happens on the left. I don't see a world where Morozov turns Laletin into a hook, and I don't see a world where he beats Laletin in a top roll. And so maybe a press, but I mean, we saw Kamil Jablonski go for the press. I mean, he's one of the best pressers in the world. He couldn't beat Vitaly with a press. So we'll see. I think it's going to be very one-sided in favor of Vitaly, but hopefully Morozov, I mean, he's going to be improving for sure. So he's hungry, but I do think probably 3-0 for Vitaly Laletin. Moving on to Todd Hutchings versus Irakli Zirikashvili. Todd beat him very easily in their first match. He just went full side pressure, typical Todd Hutchings style of pulling. And he just pinned him 3 times in a row, easy peasy. I don't think it's going to go quite so easy for Todd this time around. I do think he'll win, but Irakli's going to be better. I mean, this guy's lifting the same weights as Levon in the gym while weighing much less. Super impressive strength out of Irakli. And who knows, maybe that the back pressure will be enough to, I don't know, get the match on his side of the table first if he's quick enough. I don't think that'll be the case. I mean, Todd has shown us just in his last match, he's got really good endurance. He can pull all day long. So I think he's getting better, even at age, what is he, 58? I'm not sure. Somehow he's still getting better. So I think it'll be close, though. Todd, he's got great skill in these like ugly positions, but we've seen Irakli, I mean, versus John Brzezinski, he pulled in that flop wrist press. He can pull in ugly positions too, so I'm excited for this one as well. I think this will be a close match. Maybe 3-1, 3-2 to Todd, but I do think Todd gets it. Let's move on. A Devon Larratt versus Gennady Kvikvinia. This is probably the match that most arm wrestling fans are the most excited for. Devon lost in their last match, and I thought that he played with his food too much and that he probably could have won if he didn't get arrogant. But, he's got an ego. He likes to put on a show, and he got too comfortable, and Gennady got himself back in the match. And that's not a dig against Gennady, that Devon was getting arrogant. Gennady's incredible. I mean, he's got really good endurance, clearly, and he's got a really good press, and he's got a weird style that can beat Devon, even though Devon beats most, if not all, of the top 10 guys. We didn't see Devon go to the King's move because I believe Gennady can press through his King's move. And Devon has a better hook than Gennady. We saw that. But Gennady pressed through Devon's hook. I would say that Gennady can win this if it weren't for his recent loss to Michael Todd and a video that he just recently put out where he talked about his bicep being injured and it doesn't feel like it's back to 100% yet. It didn't feel like it could take the pressure. That's not a good sign. And it seems like maybe it's just not at 100% yet, and he's probably not going to be as good as the last time he faced Devon. So with that in consideration, and the fact that Devon has arguably gotten better since their last outing, I think I have to give this one to Devon. I think it'll be close, though. I mean, it'll probably be another 3-2 victory. And I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Gennady wins, if he engages that press and it's just too much. I don't really care who wins this one. I just want to see a good match. At this point, I don't think either of them... This isn't a match to decide who's going to fight for the title next. So I'd like to just see a war. Alright, so the Aussie arm wrestler just came out with a video where he went over possible next opponents for Brian Shaw. The first one is Kirill Sarachev. Now, I don't know much about this guy, but he's a Russian arm wrestler. I've seen training videos. I think he's been training for quite some time now. He looks very strong. I think he might be too much for Brian Shaw at this point, and I haven't seen any super matches. I don't even know that he does super matches, so I'm not necessarily interested in this one. So the next one is Big Laws. So Big Laws is a strongman or an ex-strongman. I'm not sure if he still competes, but this would be an exciting match. I think Big Laws has been training arm wrestling for a little bit longer than Brian Shaw has, and so I think he has the experience, but Brian Shaw would definitely have the size and strength advantage. So this could be another strongman versus strongman viral match. I don't think it would be quite as big as the Eddie Hall match, but still good for the sport. I think bringing these strongmen in is a good idea, and it's really helping the sport grow. So I'd be interested in seeing that match. The next one is Derek Smith. So I could be wrong, but I think Derek Smith trains with Brian Shaw. I'm not sure if that's correct. I've just seen him in some group photos where they're training, and so this would be an interesting match, because if Brian Shaw won convincingly, then we could really think about giving him maybe a low-ranked super heavyweight or maybe a heavyweight guy, just to see where he actually stands when it comes to the professional arm wrestling scene. So yeah, I could definitely get behind this match. It's maybe not quite as exciting as the others, but it would be interesting just to see where Brian Shaw stands within the rankings. So the next one is Ravaz Lutidze. Ravaz is a really good super heavyweight. I'm not too sure why anyone would suggest this. I think this would be a huge mismatch. So yeah, I think Ravaz would probably just destroy him. I mean, Ravaz destroyed Dave Chafee, and he had a pretty good match with Artem Morozov, where he was nearly beating him in the hook. So yeah, I don't really understand this suggestion. I think this is a pretty bad idea. But the last one here, Khalid Jashel. I think this is a great idea. Who wouldn't want to see this? This is Genetic Freak versus Genetic Freak. They've both got massive hands, really impressive grip strength. And Khalid is he's a natural on the table. He's got good arm wrestling table sense. Brian Shaw, not so much, but he would definitely have the overall horsepower advantage. So again, I think this would kind of show us where Brian stands when it comes to professional arm wrestling. Even though Khalid isn't really a professional arm wrestler, he is still very good, and based off his performances against Schoolboy, we could kind of tell, all right, where is Brian Shaw within the world of arm wrestling. All right, that's all I got for today. If you enjoyed listening to me just ramble on about things I know nothing about, be sure to just subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what I could improve. And yeah, this might be like a weekly thing. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to do some sort of arm wrestling news / drama coverage just to help promote the sport. So see where it goes. So thank you. Bye.